Hello, greetings everyone, and welcome to another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Daniel Pineda.
My name's Adele Quo.
And here's our show for our first show in May. Can you believe it? May, drum roll, 2019. And here's what it looks like. News and Community Bulletin Board. Adele is here for another installment of
It's Easy Being Green.
It's
Not
easy
bad.
being green. I like the song is coming there somewhere. There.
Oh, good.
CBB, as I mentioned, Denise and her theater reviews, and tonight she's talking about Grand Hotel, and we'll find out where that's playing a little later in the show.
But I bet she likes it.
News for Senior segment, and then Miriam Gennari, our styrofoam mom, and her conversations with J.D. Spain. That's the show, but before we go, social media time from Senior Pineda.
That's right. Well, you can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Also on facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News.
And also on the radio, the audio from the Arlington Weekly News can be heard on WERA 96.7 LPFM. Check us out. All right, here we go with news item number 1. Well, it's now official. Arlington County is asking residents to stop placing glass items in their blue recycling carts. Instead, residents are being encouraged to apply the following procedures. Buy fewer products in glass, that is, containers, and more in recyclable metal or plastic. Number 2, reuse glass containers for storage or other purposes. And 3, drop off glass recyclables in new pre-sorted glass-only containers at the county's 2 recycling drop-off locations. And they are Quincy Park, which is located at the intersection of North Quincy Street and Washington Boulevard. And then the other is at the Trade Center recycling location. They're located at 2700 South Taylor Street. So stop putting the glass in those blue carts. Got to take it to the place. Daniel.
Well, correct. On to our next story for tonight. Both recycling drop-off locations accept the following materials: aluminum cans, cardboard, glass bottles and jars, metal cans, mixed paper, plastics. However, parking at the Quincy location is described as unknown, and it is open daily from dawn to 11 p.m. Parking at the Taylor Street locations is described as limited, and it is open Monday through Friday from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. and on Saturdays from 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. It is closed on Sundays and holidays. Perhaps someone will conduct a study of the relative environmental damage caused by the increased use of personal automobiles that is likely to result from this arrangement.
Parking unknown. Check. Parking unknown. Also on our news items, this edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News, pedestrians and cyclists will have already discovered the closure of the portion of Washington and Old Dominion bike trail surrounding its intersection with Lee Highway. Actual construction is imminent and is expected to continue even after the bridge opens in the fall of 2020. While the end goal is improved safety for all trail users, the interim management is problematic. A series of detours have been set up, that is, for the initial phase of the construction, but these will change over time as the work moves forward. The present westbound route requires cyclists to turn left on Lee Highway and then make a right turn onto West Jefferson Street. They will continue until making another right turn onto Little Falls Street and then turning left to rejoin the trail. On the other hand, westbound pedestrians will be required to walk along Fairfax Drive until they turn left onto Little Falls Road, which changes into Little Falls Street. Are you making notes on this? When it joins the trail and pedestrians turn left. Eastbound cyclists will be required to turn right onto Little Falls Street, and eastbound pedestrians will be required to turn left onto Little Falls Road, after which they will follow their respective route in the reverse of the order listed previously. Satellite imagery suggests an absence of bike lanes along the detour section of Lee Highway, so cyclists may be obliged to ride on the sidewalks. There's some information
A
for
lot
you.
of information, but
A
that
lot of
map was a
information there.
great visual.
Hope you got all that. Here's Daniel with the next story.
Well, the map was a great visual, though.
That
The
should-
Arlington County Board voted unanimously to ask a state transportation board to change the name of Jefferson David Highway to Richmond Highway within the borders of Arlington. Alexandria voted for the name change last year. The change will make the name assigned to Route 1 consistent between Arlington, Alexandria, and Fairfax County. As a matter of simple logic, a motorist traveling south on Richmond Highway will eventually reach the city of Richmond. Jefferson Davis happens to be buried there, but he is not doing much these days.
All right. No, he's not. Let's look at our news items. We'll be back with CBB right after we hear from Adele and this week's installment of
It's Easy Being Green.
Hat night for Adele tonight.
That's right.
Hat night.
I should send a memo out so we
love
can
it.
all
Send-
do
I
it
missed the
together.
memo. Sorry,
no,
I
there
missed the
was no
memo.
memo. It just felt like it.
Not about haircuts.
Good. I like the hat. Your turn.
Welcome back to It's Easy Being Green. My name's Adele Quo, and don't forget, Joe, our mascot, is here tonight. Traipsing through millions of trilliums, May-apples, and other rare wildflowers in early May is just this wonderful ethereal experience that Easy Being Green struggles with whether to shout it out to the world or keep it under wraps, a secret shared only amongst plant specialists and enthusiasts. The hesitation lies in the sad fact that one has to travel an hour outside the Capitol Beltway to glimpse what was once a widely distributed native wildflower, but now a rarity, our bewitching native orchids, Cypripedium parvifolum, or yellow lady slipper, and Galeria spectabilis, showy orchid. The number of native orchids are drastically declining due to loss of habitat, and more troubling due to illegal poachers who collect and sell these wonderful orchids to unethical nurseries, and by unknowing gardeners who try to supplement their own gardens. Sadly, transplanting the terrestrial orchids rarely work out due to the complicated symbiotic relationship with these mycorrhizome fungi species. And the plant roots that rely on them the relationship is very specific and due to the location of the wild orchids. The odds are high that the transplants will actually kill the wild orchids. So only purchase these wondrous native plants that have been nursery propagated and responsibly collected by reputable nurseries. If you've managed to stay with us this far, we can reveal the big secret that early May is a great time to enjoy the great outdoors and stop to smell some roses, or in this case, smell some clean air and fragrant flora, because hiking the trails at G.R. Thompson Wildlife Managed Area, let's call that Thompson WMA for short, and seek out the Trillium Trail, which now has its own parking area. Thompson WMA is only about 60 miles or an hour outside the Beltway, and there's just nothing like it anywhere closer to DC. This is a must-see at least once kind of experience. The hike is in the wildlife management area, so now a daily or annual access permit is now required. They are easy to obtain at outdoor sporting stores, or you could call 1-866-721-6911 during business hours, or you can purchase them online at dgif.virginia.gov/access-permit. For 2019, the Trillium peak blooming is predicted to occur on time during the first and second weekend and first full week of May. That's May 4th to 11th. Estimated at near 10 million plants, the spectacular display of Trillium grandiflorum, or great white trillium, may be the largest stand of trilliums and plant community of this kind in Virginia and maybe anywhere else in the United States. So remember, it's easy being green.
Well, I've seen lots of May-apples out walking around. I was trying to find shed antlers and mushrooms the other day,
yeah.
but I didn't find either one of them, but I saw a lot of May-apples. They're really
There are some pretty fun mushrooms in Thompson, too.
I've yet to find a morel. That's
Yeah,
what I'm after.
well, they're a little bit harder, but
They're
they are here.
tricky. They're
are
somewhere, but I haven't found one yet. All right, good
Thank you,
information. We appreciate it. Thanks, Adele, as always, for your EBG segment. Here we go now, as promised, CBB, Community Bulletin Board. Well, the phrase, paint a rock in a pot, may be a bit deceptive. It sounds something like a mean big kid would say to a pesky little kid, as in, oh, why don't you go paint a rock in a pot? However, with a little imagination, you can be very entertaining with this and very creative. You can learn more about it on Wednesday, May 8th from 6:30 to 8:30 in the PM portion of the day at Westmont Room, in the Westmont Room, take 2 or 3, Westmont Room of Columbia Pike Branch Library. They're located at 816 South Walter Reed Drive. This event is recommended for ages 6 and older. Daniel.
Well, Craig, our next event is about walking sticks. We're not talking about canes or other aids to transportation, but about those cool and cryptic insects. It's a deep dive program for adults 18 and up, and it will feature the amazing aspects of the lives and characteristics of these fascinating creatures. That all takes place on Thursday, May the 9th from 8 to 9 p.m. That's at the Gulf Branch Nature Center and Park, located at 3608 North Military Road. The cost is $5, and to register, give them a call at 703-228-3403.
And Daniel, also in CBB, fire building. Here's some information on fire building. This is an event for kids ages 8 to 12, and it's all about safe fire building, old style. Participants will learn how to find tinder and a starting rock, and how to use a bow drill, and where to place the fire pit. That's coming up on Friday, May 10, from 4 to 5:15 in the afternoon at Long Branch Nature Center and Park, 625 South Carlin Springs Road. There is a charge for this one, $7. For more information and to register, give them a call at the number on your screen now and in your ear, 703-228-6535. Daniel.
Well, Craig, World Migratory Bird Day is on May the 11th this year, and there will be a festival here in Arlington to, well, celebrate it. It's a free, family-friendly event for kids aged 3 and up, featuring activities, games, crafts, bird walks, and much more. Best of all, you don't have to be a bird to attend. That's on Saturday, May the 11th from 9 to 11 a.m. That's the Lacey Woods Park, located at 1200 North George Mason Drive. For more information, call 703-228-3403.
All right, Daniel, and don't go away. News for Seniors is coming your way next on this edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News, right after we hear from Denise and her thoughts on Grand Hotel. Here's Denise.
Seeing Grand Hotel at Signature Theater transports you back to 1928 Berlin to spend a weekend with the guests of the most luxurious hotel in the city. The guests come from various backgrounds. There is a fading ballerina, saddened that she no longer commands encores, a destitute baron who has turned to theft, a young typist who longs to be a Broadway star but who thinks she may be pregnant, a business tycoon who must deal with a merger that has fallen through, and an accountant who is dying and has checked out of the hospital and into the hotel to give greater meaning and a bit of elegance to his final days. This lavish musical has been crafted by Signature's elite regulars. Artistic director Eric Schaefer directs. Musical direction is by John Kalbfleisch. Choreography by Kelly Crandall-D'Amboise. And costume design is by Robert Perziola, who clothes the characters in black and white designs and features the prima donna in an exquisite dove gray ensemble. The scenic design is by Paul Tate Depeau III. This is the most opulent design the Max has ever known. The hotel lobby has a lavish Art Deco design, with the gilded second-floor railings wrapping around the entire dress circle with crystal light fixtures, a beautifully paneled floor, a pair of grand staircases, and a check-in desk complete with flowers in a graceful bronze sculpture. In essence, the entire black box has become the lobby, and you have an intimate seat from which you observe the guests as they come and go. The musical numbers have great lyrics and jazzy choreography, and a cast who knows how to perform them to the fullest. Nastasia Diaz plays Elizaveta Grushinskaya, the ballerina, and flirts with our empathy as she despairs over her failing performance and then falls in love with the younger Baron. Bobby Smith as Otto Kringelein, the accountant, involves you with his Table with a View and totally charms you with his robust duet, We'll Take a Glass Together. Both actors are actually demonstrating how they've become signature favorites. Grand Hotel plays its signature through May 19th. Check in to sample a bit of the robust flavor of the golden era of Berlin. I'm Denise Pringle. Now back to the news desk.
All right, thanks, Denise, and her
Cheers,
thoughts on
Denise.
Grand Hotel. We appreciate it. Here we go now, as promised, News for Seniors segment. Oh, News for Seniors glasses. My goodness.
Oh, you finally remember.
There we go, much better now. Well, the Encore Chorales of Northern Virginia are getting ready to present their annual spring concert. You can roll it now, Richard. Roll it.
Roll it.
There you go. Keep going. The senior singers comprise chorales from Langston Brown, Goodwin House Alexandria, and Goodwin House Bailey's Crossroads. And they'll be presenting this concert. It's free for all who show up there. And that's coming up Saturday, May 11th from 7 to 8 in the p.m. portion of the day at Falls Church Episcopal Church, located 115 East Fairfax Street in Falls Church. Daniel.
Hello, wake
Hello.
up, wake
Hello.
up. Well, correct. Safeguarding your future is the theme of this year's Senior Law Day. Delegate Patrick Hope will give a legislative review of pertinent security issues. Attorneys Betsy Wildhack, Allison Matthew Lambeth, Matthew Whitfield, and Jean Robinson will discuss settling estates, scams, and powers of attorney. There is free parking available. This is a free event, that's free, to be held on Monday, May the 13th from 12:30 to 3 p.m. at the Walter Reed Community and Senior Center. That's located at 2909 16th Street South. For more information, call 703-228-0955.
And Daniel, also News for Seniors, Legal Services of Northern Virginia offers free legal assistance to eligible seniors on a wide variety of issues. Some of them include Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, consumer and housing law, and insurance. There is a pre-screening process to determine eligibility. This is coming up. This event coming up Thursday, May 9, from 9:30 to 11:30 at Langston Brown Community and Senior Center. They're located at 2121 North Culpeper Street here in Arlington. For information and to make an appointment, give them a call at the number on your screen, 703-228-TAKE-2, 703-778-6800. Daniel.
Hello, wake
Hello,
up,
hello.
wake up.
Thank you.
Well, National Park Service Ranger Kevin Patty will be conducting a 2-mile hike between Fort Ethan Allen and Fort Marcy. Hikers can still see earthworms and batteries from the Civil War. This hike is for experienced hikers and seniors and must pre-register. That's important. The hike will take place on Wednesday, May the 8th from 9:30 a.m. to noon, leaving the Madison Community Center, which is located at 3829 North Stafford Street. The event will be repeated on Saturday, May the 11th from 9:30 a.m. to noon. To register, call 703-228-4878. And of course, correct, we want to thank our own Judy Masomni for helping
Thanks,
us out with
Judy.
the senior stories this week. She always does a great job.
She does indeed. Thanks, Judy. We appreciate it. All right, we'll be back with a sign off and bye-bye right after we hear from our Styrofoam mom. Here's Miriam.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. Joining me today is Julius Spain. He is a 26-year veteran of the Marines, so a local hero, and he is planning to serve our community if elected to the 49th District as a delegate. So welcome, Julius.
Thank you very much for having me tonight.
Big thing running for office. How's it going?
It's a marathon, not a sprint, I could say. There's some challenges, but I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Well, you know, to run for office indicates that you've got some things that you think you could contribute to or do better in. So what are some of your priority issues?
Well, some of my priority issues as laid out in my platform, I really want to focus on some of the social issues that are plaguing the 49th District. When you think about the 49th District and the makeup of the 49th, diversity and all those alike, I feel that we can do more. We need a leader who can be out front and represent the people that he or she serves. So my years of experience traveling abroad, being active in the community, I have a passion and desire to serve the people and not just corporate interests or special interests or lobbyists down in Richmond. But I do want to answer one of the question you just asked about what is it that I can do? What is it one of my major initiatives so education, social justice is really important to me. I think in the education system we need to do more to address the underlying issues as it relates to mental health, depression, anxiety, or our youth. They are the future, and as a legislator, I want to be a leader in that regard.
Well, I think that's refreshing, especially because there's a lot of different views on how to solve big problems, and the Democratic Party in general is talking about a Green New Deal. How can you take the concept of that, depending on what it means to you, and bring some of that to the 49th District?
Well, I'm glad to hear that the Green New Deal is taking foot. There's a lot of energy and momentum behind that. I've signed on, taken the pledge for Green New Deal Virginia. I think that's where we're headed in the future as a Commonwealth and really as a nation. There's still some issues, some things we need to work out as leaders and as in the community to figure out exactly what that means. But if you're talking about jobs, environmental sustainability, you're talking about all those things that are near and dear to the environment and climate change, we need to go in that direction.
Well, I think some of the fundamental issues that you cite, transportation,
Right.
education, social justice, all of those things, a lot of people don't realize are part of the Green New Deal. And it is exactly what will bring this county together and this region together as we grow with a company like Amazon.
Right, exactly. So in anything, one thing the Marine Corps, for example, taught me for 26 years is that you need to have steadfast leadership. It's one thing to talk about issues and say we're going to do this or we're going to do that, but it also takes steadfast leadership and collaborations and compromise at times to get things across the finish line, to get a product for the people, by the people. And I pledge that if I'm elected as a delegate in 49th District, that will happen.
So your intention is to get some things done.
To get some things done. I take my job seriously. All jobs I've had in the Marine Corps, serving as a commissioner for Arlington County on the Civil Service Commission, I take those seriously because I know that I'm serving at the will and pleasure a lot of times for the people. So yes, I'll be a strong advocate for issues like environmental justice, social justice, Green New Deal, green energy, alternative energy. That's what I'm about.
Well, I think probably one of the things that I find most impressive is your leadership in the NAACP and your discussion about the immigrant population and how to manage some of the delicate issues that have to do with equity without necessarily frightening people. I think we have a rich history in Arlington, in our African American community, and you've reached on both sides, but really into the community to tap some of that excitement.
Right, we have. So the NAACP, which I'm currently the president of, even over the past year, what the NAACP National has done, they went as far as most of our funding for the NAACP has gone towards environmental justice programs and issues. And two, what you talked about as it relates to Arlington County and the community, having been here 10 years and worked extensively in communities like Nog, Arlington Mill, those traditionally African-American neighborhoods, I will tell you, there's more we can do. There's more that needs to be done. And yes, so I've been working hard with the NAACP and in the local community to make things happen.
And I think that people really appreciate you going there and listening to the issues and trying to recognize that there are a lot of concerns with our growth. Alfonso Lopez is a 3-time elected official, and some people argue that that's quite a long time. And so if you were elected, what are some of the goals that you would like to achieve in your first term for the people who vote for you?
Thank you for that question. So to the incumbent, Alfonso Lopez, who's been in office for 3 terms, I think he's done his due diligence at times to try and serve the people. However, what I pause and think about a lot is events that have transpired over the past couple of years as it relates to his character and his integrity and judgment. We all have our flaws in life. I'm also, just to let you know, that I'm for term limits at the local level, at the state level, and I think what we need to do is to bring in new, fresh ideas, new perspectives, new leadership from the ground up to get involved in the political process.
Well, it takes courage and conviction to run for office, and so I admire you for doing that. How do people reach out to you, meet you in public, get to know your campaign, and perhaps even show some support?
Well, people can reach me by, Google is everything, but JD Spain for delegate. I have a website up. I also have a Facebook account and a Twitter account.
So I hope people will check out your website and learn more about what you're doing. Thanks so much,
Thank
Julius.
you.
Yeah, good luck to you.
Thank you.
And I want to thank all of you for watching this edition of The Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari. Back to the news desk.
Actually, it does say,
No, it says.
Here we go. We're back. Thanks, Miriam. We appreciate your efforts as always on your Sustainable Scoop, and we're running short on time here, so just a quick shout out to all of you for watching out there.
Thank you so
Anything
much.
else to add before we go? Thank you.
I love you, Grandma Alicia.
We gotta go.
Say goodbye.
Thanks for watching this
Happy
edition of
Cinco
Don
de
Hammond's
Mayo.
Arlington Weekly News. Have a safe week. Happy May Day. Happy Cinco de Mayo. We gotta go. Take
Cinco de
care.
Mayo.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.